All right, so this is Roaming Millennial, aka Lauren Chen, who really came to prominence, at least in my purview, a couple of years ago when Lacey Green, of all people, tried to copyright strike one of her videos, and the internet was like, "No, no, you do not come for our hot Asian chick." So oh man, remember Lacey Green? I think she's dating Chris Raygun or something like that. Yo, she got some tig old bitties for real, man. Hey Chris, be very, very careful because if she don't take care of herself, when Lacey hit that wall, ooh, it's gonna be disaster. But I'm digressing. Anyways, she released a video on the WSU video on the Weber State situation. And if you're unaware, let's get a quick refresher in. This is coming to us from Campus Reform. In viral video, student exposes instructor's anti-white, anti-academic comments. And this piece is written by Francis Floresca, a Utah senior campus correspondent. Now, we'll just go over the highlights here. A student at Weber State University recorded his debate instructor suggesting that space travel is related to race, in that it can be argued that space is not real. Please, somebody call Neil deGrasse Tyson, because it is one of many white fantasies. The instructor was also caught on video defending and complimenting a student presentation suggesting that all white people should be sent to outer space. For real? For real? When the recording student questions the argument, the instructor suggests that the presenting students do not have to answer his questions because he is white. Ridiculous. So Lauren here has done a response to which I agree, but I wanted to talk about this entire situation because it's been on the radar for like a week and some change, and I wanted to do a video on it. I just really didn't know how, but then she pops up with her fine ass, and I'm like, oh, okay. So let's let Lauren take it from here.
These people are black supremacists. They are racist, and they are way worse than the alt-right ever could be.
So we caught her mid rant. This is probably a segment from her show because she's now on the Blaze. Good job on you. And seriously, this along with the Black Israelites, there are tons of black supremacist groups running around there who have gone around unchecked because white people have better things to worry about.
Right wants white-only countries. These people want a black-only planet. They are so offended by whiteness, they don't even want to share a planet with white people. And by the way, I do feel like I should mention that this school, it's not in California or Oregon or Washington or New York or some other bastion of progressive ideals. WSU is in Utah.
That's scary as hell too, because anybody who's watched more than a few of my videos knows I'm like, oh man, where can I go? I want to go, back to a place like, late 70s, early 80s America. Someplace with those type of American values, because Jersey clearly ain't it. And I'm just looking around at all the 50 states and no, this victim poison, this victim mentality poison has just gone nationwide, and it's really ridiculous in a lot of senses. Oh man, I just noticed that she has a wedding ring on. She's married? That was still gonna spank it to her.
Someone who has lived in Utah, let me tell you, if universities there have already fallen to far-left identitarianism, then there's pretty much nowhere left that's safe. Can you imagine what would happen if a white student got up in front of his class and advocated for rounding up all of the non-white people and sending them away so that white people could finally be free of the terrors that non-white people bring?
Yeah, they get their ass beat. I mean, if we want to be real about it, because that, like I said, that victim mentality has been allowed to matriculate and fester for well past its expiration date. I believe the expiration date was someplace in the late 80s, or the early 80s, late 70s. But no. Everybody's still a victim. Slavery is still just destroying people as if there's no personal choice that goes into a lot of this.
He would be expelled, I'm pretty certain, or at the very least, there would be outrage and some type of punishment. But in this situation and at this school, Here are the critiques that the rest of the class had to this presentation, and spoiler, that it was super duper racist doesn't come up.
So, what happens if / when the white people find a planet with life on it? Are they just going to colonize it? Should we subject other people to that colonization?
Because white people, well, we don't know if it's people that they would colonize, first of all, because we don't know what life is.
Should we subject other life to that type of colonization? That is.
Okay, really quickly, I don't get the beef with colonization. I really don't. I personally like plumbing. I like having toilets and sinks and having grocery stores down the street, to whereas I don't have to run through the woods with a spear and, chuck that spear at home at like a boar and have to kill it and skin it myself. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm just like, man, if I would have to hunt down a deer, kill it, skin it, shit, man, I don't know if I'd be eating that much. I don't know if I'd be as carnivorous as I am. But yeah, like in Black Panther, they made a big deal about it, and the term colonizer and colonization has been coming up a lot more often. But in reality, a lot of people advocate for things that don't clearly think through what they advocate for. I mean, it's just damn obvious. And when you got all these people who, live particularly here in the States or in Western society in general, complaining about colonization and capitalism, I really don't think you fully grasp or understand the alternative to these measures. Let's keep going.
Happening. White people would colonize another planet.
Okay, but black people shouldn't be subject to it either, so I'm gonna say they can win.
If your first response to someone actually suggesting that we round up all the white people and banish them off into space is, but wouldn't the white people just colonize other planets? You might be an asshole.
No, there's no might about it. They're an asshole and they're racist as hell. There's one rule. One rule that I adhere to more than anything else, and that is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I do not care for broad generalizations of black people because, by all technical means, even though I toss quotations around it all the time, I am a black man. I don't care for those broad generalizations. So I wouldn't want to broadly generalize anybody else based on something as arbitrary as the color of their skin, because I can tell you from lived experience, it's not about color of skin, it's not about gender, it's not about sexual orientation. A good person with a good heart and a good spirit about them, that's just what they are. And to really believe that, the skin color or anything else, any of those other attributes can determine that just off its merit is foolish.
That's all I'll say. And when Michael finally does bring up the fact that, hey guys, isn't this just a little bit super duper racist? The class is just not having it.
I just don't understand how none of you see how incredibly racist the plan is to spend an entire group of race to space. Because you're white, go to space. That's incredible.
So let me break it down for you, Mike. Deal is that we live in Western society, and Western society has in many ways given the green light or given the license to people of differing skin color. It's the paper bag test. If you are darker than a brown paper bag, then yeah, you by all means, you can say whatever it is you want. You can do whatever it is you want, and there'll be little to no consequences, particularly when you're talking about Caucasians or white people. And that's because of this perception. It really is this mentality that, I can't harm white people. There's this, or I have systemic racism, prejudices against me, even though, I'm about to explain why nothing could be further from the truth. But the idea has been planted. That seed has been planted a long time ago that, that there will be no consequences for your actions. And there's no consequences for, being racist towards white people, because that's exactly what it is. It's racism towards white people. And a big part of that is because many of many people from urban communities come from single parent households. That's usually the mother. And when it comes to the women, and this isn't just a black thing, this is no, this is women in general. There's a lack of responsibility that comes with their mindset, and with so many people coming up being raised by almost exclusively by women, that mentality, it seeps into the males, and it seeps into the culture, and it goes through media and everything else like that. So to them, no, this does not seem racist at all. It's just like, well, you're white. What do you care? I got into my niece tried to fight me once, and she was throwing things at me. And while she was throwing things at me, part of me was like, yo, who the hell do you think you are? I should beat the shit out of you. But another part of me was like, well, everything she's throwing at me is kind of just bouncing off of me because she doesn't have any upper body strength. So, like, it's not hurting me. So, like, I don't have to choke you the hell out. And in many ways, that's I guess that's the position of the Caucasian in this country. It's like, yeah, I mean, you talk all the shit you want, but it's not gonna, but like it's bouncing off of me, or it was bouncing off of them. Now it's starting to hurt because, it's only but so many times you can take, you let that 5-year-old keep punching you in the knee, punching your knee, punching your knee. Eventually, after so many hits, right? It's going to start to hurt, and you're going to be like, ouch, I'm feeling this. And that's exactly where we are as a nation right now. Like, hold up, wait, you kind of got to stop hitting us. like that's the Caucasian argument right now. Like, just stop hitting us, okay? This is annoying, and you're starting to piss us off.
Racist. That's the definition.
How it goes further than the
On what basis?
No, he didn't. He said if you're white, you go to space.
Yeah,
just having
sure.
skin color being, that's by definition racism.
How so? Like, I just don't understand. I think that you're like,
Hold on, let's read that question that Shorty was asking. What makes you think black people have the social power to actually be racist towards white people? Are you not in this class right now? I mean, that's the thing that blows my mind. Like isn't your instructor like black? Deal is that we live in probably the best time to be alive in this nation, or probably in this nation, but definitely in the history of the world. And for you to, like, we've had black presidents, they're like, the threshold, the bar should have been raised, right? Now, I'm not just sitting here saying, oh, well, Barack Obama, him being president, that completely negates everything. No. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you have this example of, a black person going to the greatest position in this nation, like, commander in chief. It reminds me of this story that a friend of mine told me when President Obama was being elected. She was like, I'm from the Congo. And when President Obama was being elected, my mom was wondering, like, why is America tripping over having a black president? I'm from the Congo. We've had plenty of black presidents. And it don't work out that great. But I'm saying that because it's an illustration as people who've actually made something of themselves, actually made a way for themselves, turning around and complaining, talking about how, oh no, we can't make it. That's ridiculous. It's sort of like Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, complaining about female CEOs. Oh my goodness, there's not enough female CEOs. Like, you are a female CEO. Shut up.
racism.
Be racist towards white people.
Because
go to space.
your skin color doesn't determine the level of your power. That's a.
But it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, he's right. It really doesn't. Like I said, we've got the Boulay and MK Ultra stuff. I mean, like, who do you think is more powerful? That Caucasian man working at a gas station or LeBron James? Right? I mean, unfortunately, we're not dealing with the same power dynamics that we were dealing with back in 1920. And to keep pretending as if, oh, we've made absolutely no progress, I believe is complete bullshit.
Yes, it does.
There are people who are.
Society.
There's certain theories,
So
academic
every
theories,
single-
Mike, that just disagree with you.
Every single white person.
Ronald Judy, including the field of Afro-pessimism and Black studies and queer theory.
So Barack Obama.
You hear all that queer studies and African American studies and all these other degrees, basically useless degrees that won't help anybody, get a pretty decent job. Because that's all that is. That's why academia is as big as it is. Because they have to basically justify their paychecks. And so what they do is they start doing research, and they do all these different studies, and it's all basically to keep them employed. There's no real tangible benefits to damn near any of it.
Didn't have power.
Okay.
He couldn't do anything. He didn't have any power.
He had to show his birth certificate when no other person.
Sure.
He didn't have to show his birth certificate. Donald Trump was just being a jerk about it. He didn't have to. I mean, he did, but he didn't have to. The same way Trump doesn't have to show his taxes. But we'll see if he goes on to do it. But he doesn't have to. And honestly, if it's not required for the job, you shouldn't show it. I mean, technically, being born in being a natural born citizen of the United States is a requirement of being the president. But once again, Barack Obama didn't have to. He did, though.
Yeah, everyone faces oppression. Everyone.
No, but that particular oppression can be marked by your skin color, which is something you could probably not fathom.
Okay. Do you hear this guy's voice? Because it's really sticking out to me, like it's going against my brain like nails on a chalkboard. This is a very effeminate dude. This is a guy that is 100% in his feelings. I mean, his emotions is what's guiding him. And you can hear him getting more aggravated and more irritated as he speaks on. And once again, it's that feministic type, gynocentric mentality where my emotions matter more than anything. And my God, they really don't. Like, your emotions don't mean jack or shit.
No. I'm in a debate space where everyone questions me on my skin color. I can definitely fathom
it. But you're not being questioned on having black skin color.
But it's still... Pardon me. But it's still skin color. How are you not understanding that? Once again, treat people the way you would like to be treated. You don't want that type of lens being put upon you because you're black. So why would you turn around and do that to the next person? You're being unfair.
Social justice advocates always say that black people cannot be racist toward white people because they lack systemic power. But really, when you think about it, and what this example goes to show, is that's not the real reason.
That's the thing. It's not a reason at all. Because when it comes to systemic power, since, I want to say like the 1970s, there has been a 900% increase in the amount of black and brown elected officials of color, right? Meaning your mayors, your councils, your state assembly reps, your governors. Like, people of color, but in particular black people, have been reaching these pinnacles of power for a real long time. Like, what was that? Like 1989, David Dinkin became the mayor of NYC. So to sit here and say, oh, well, there's all these different systemic things holding you back, I think it's complete horseshit in 2019. You had a stronger case back in 1983 as opposed to 2019.
Even in a hypothetical scenario where black people have taken it upon themselves to round up all the white people on the planet and shoot them off into space forever, you still don't accept that black people have the power to be racist against white people? You will never accept that black people can be racist against white people.
But that's the thing, Lovely. Oh my goodness, she's gorgeous. But that's the thing. There are some people who this is baked in. This is baked in. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I did, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where I'm downtown Newark. And Newark, trust me, is a very black town. Well, it was. It's on its way to being insanely Spanish, but right now it's still a black town-ish. And you had this gentleman just sitting there talking about how, oh, Trump's people, they're going to be the Klan riding through the streets with torches and rounding up Negroes. It's like, bruh, like, that mentality has been fostered in these communities and in this culture for such a long time that the brainwashing is done. The brainwashing is over. They are in it to win it. And I'm telling you, as someone who works trying to break people of this mentality, it's a firewall, man. Seriously.
In these people's minds, when white people mistreat black people, that's racism. But when black people mistreat white people, well, That's just retribution. That's just justice. It's a crazy world we're living in, folks, and you know what? I feel like a lot of us see so many of these stories of crazy, unhinged professors that we can kind of become desensitized to it. But let's not forget who the real victims are, and that's students like Michael who are forced to listen to this crap day after day and heck even repeat it themselves if they want to get their degrees.
And that's a big part of the reason why in the HBCU video, I'm like, yeah, cut out all this nonsense. Seriously, if it ain't STEM, keep it pushing. I know it sounds harsh. I actually had a back and forth with one of you guys because we were talking about arts programs, and at the end of the day, he ended up having to agree that, like, look, these are like arts, TV, music, entertainment, stuff like that. It's non-tangible. It doesn't help. All it does is provide distractions for people and more marinate for their indoctrines. That's it. But it's not really about trying to fix anything. It's not really about solving any problems, because if you actually wanted to solve problems, we would start at a legislative and policy level. No, not reparations, but actually deading the drug war and trying to wean our people off of the welfare state by bringing industry to our urban centers and creating the type of economic mobility that would really do a lot towards improving the quality of life of these spaces. But no. Their bread and butter is sitting there and crying about, I'm such a victim in white supremacy. And it's ridiculous. It really is.
All for academic freedom, of course, but this type of behavior in a classroom setting is just unacceptable. How can you have a debate class where you can't even push back on the idea that your race is inherently bad?
That is let's go back to that's a fighter look that she got in the eyes. Love that shit. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the Weber State situation a little bit, as well as continue to denounce this type of nonsense, this type of victim mentality, because it's been allowed to run rampant for a very long time. And it's like with AIU, and how I was trying to explain in another video. It's not just black people that push this. It's white people with savior complexes and, white guilt that push this as well, that put the battery in a lot of these Negroes' backs, or give them the jobs, such as being an instructor at Weber State and pushing this type of ridiculous ideology. So with that being said, let's see if we can get her a little. She looks pleased in that picture. Hold on. She rapping. I think that works best. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead and do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? This Weber State situation, the guy needs to be fired. Like, to sit there and say how, oh yeah, well, white people, we can shoot white people up in space. Oh, this is great. That is some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. And if you feel like he's right, I would love to have you in my comments. All right. So with that being said, guys, until the next one.